She went to Vivian Hale. She told herself it was the honest course, and it was. But Esme was too rigorous a person to let a flattering motive stand unexamined. And beneath the honesty, she found a colder calculation that she respected more. That she could not safely hold a thing like this in secret, in a facility owned by the people it incriminated, and that the only protection available to her was to make sure her employer knew that she knew, and to learn, from the manner of the knowing's reception, exactly how much danger she was in. A secret kept alone in the Hale Institute was a liability. A secret shared with the one person who could not afford to have her vanish without questions being asked was, paradoxically, a kind of shield. She would disclose. The only remaining question was how, and that question, she would discover, was the whole of it. She requested the meeting in the glass room above the sublevel, and Vivian came alone, which Esme noted, and sat across the white table with her hands folded and her unreadable courtesy intact, and waited. And Esme, who had rehearsed a dozen careful framings, abandoned all of them and simply told her. She laid out the corpus the way she would have presented a decipherment to a faculty. The recurring glyphs, the systematic avoidance, the figure she had tagged the drowned one, and the act the entire symbolic economy of 19 years had organized itself around concealing and confessing at once that the foundation of the Hale fortune had been taken from another, a true author erased from all record, who had been ruined and drowned by Cassius Hale's hand or design, and whose death the magnet's sleeping mind had been confessing to the dark every night since the coma closed over him. She did not soften it. She watched the daughter's face as she said it, with the same cold attention she gave the glyphs, because the daughter's face was now the most important text in the building. It gave her almost nothing, and the almost was everything. Vivian Hale did not gasp or weep or protest. She received the destruction of the story of her own life with a stillness so complete that Esme understood, watching it, that she was not seeing the stillness of shock. She was seeing the stillness of confirmation. Whatever else this was, it was not entirely news. Some part of Vivian Hale had known, or feared, or suspected for a very long time that the fortune she had spent 2 decades laundering into philanthropy had a body at the bottom of it, and Esme's decipherment had informed her so much as ended her ability to keep not knowing. The daughter sat with it for a long moment, and then she said, very quietly, "You are certain of the reading?" "As certain as I am of anything I have ever translated. The grammar does not lie. People lie. Grammar only avoids, and the pattern of an avoidance is itself a confession. He has been telling himself this story for 19 years, Miss Hale. I have only learned to overhear it." And then Vivian Hale did the thing that would set the course of everything, which was that she did not tell Esme what she wanted. She asked instead what Esme wanted. "Now that you hold this, Dr. Cardew, what do you imagine should be done with it?" And the question was so precisely the question Esme had been afraid to be asked that she understood it for what it was. Not an inquiry, but a handing over, the deliberate transfer from a powerful woman to a hired stranger, of a decision the powerful woman did not want to be seen to make alone. Vivian Hale was not going to declare herself. She was going to let Esme declare first, and shape herself to the response. And Esme realized that her own next move would not merely revere Vivian's nature, but to some real degree, determine it. That an unreadable person at a moral crossroads becomes in part whatever the people around her give her permission to be. So the choice was hers after all, and it was sharper for being unexpected, and she felt it open into 2 roads that led to 2 different women. She could appeal to the better self she could not be sure existed. She could lay the whole weight of it before Vivian as a matter of conscience rather than of management, could speak for the drowned one who had no other advocate in the world, and ask the daughter directly to help her surface the truth, restore the erased author to the record, and turn the Foundation's vast machinery from the laundering of a crime to the undoing of it. To gamble that beneath the unreadable executor was a woman who had built a life of atonement precisely because some part of her had always known what she was atoning for, and who might, given permission and a path, choose at last to make it real. To offer Vivian Hale, that is, the chance to be the person her philanthropy had always pretended she was. Or she could decline the handed-over decision and turn it back into intelligence gathering. She could give Vivian no lead to follow, commit to nothing, and instead probe. Present the confession as a problem to be solved together while carefully withholding the one card that mattered, the door, the possible key to waking Hale. And watch how the daughter moved when she believed that the translator had not yet found everything. To learn, before she trusted, whether Vivian's instinct when handed her father's buried crime was to exhume it or to deepen the grave. And to keep to reserve the knowledge that might save the drowned one or save herself, until she knew which of the two women across the table she was actually dealing with.